Hey, this is Digital by Computing. We're going through the steps on how to set up some login warning messages via group policy for your Windows workstations and servers. So you may have found that sometimes when you log into a workstation, you get a pop-up message that just is warning you this system is authorized, etc., etc. Log in if you have permission only. That sort of message. You may have seen it before. I'll show you similar to what it looks like. So if I log out, all right, this is a VM that I have running, and I just go Control or Delete on here, and you see this message come up. Notice to all unauthorized users, this network system is for authorized use only, etc., etc. That sort of a message is done through group policies. You can set up two different types of group policies. You can set up local and also domain ones. Local group policies are done, as the name suggests, locally on each machine. A little bit more complicated. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do locals unless you need to, unless you need to override domain level, forest level group policies. But it's much easier to execute this from a domain level, and that way it spreads to all of your environment. So you can add this to your Windows desktops and laptops and clients, but also your Windows server fleets as well. Now, you do this from your domain controller, or you connect to your group policy management into your DC itself, into your domain controller, okay? So to access that, you go into Start, Admin Tools, and in here, you got Group Policy Management. All right, so you go ahead and open that up, and you're presented with this logon screen here. All right, Group Policy Management, it shows me my forest level, which is redghost.com, domain, and then it's my redghost.com domain, and then everything underneath that. That includes my DCs, my sites, all my OUs, etc., etc. You'll see that I already have a logon message group policy configured in here. To create a new group policy, on your domain level, you right click and you say create a GPO in this domain and link it here. That will create that GPO in this root level domain, and the group policy will be executed across everything underneath it. That's every single OU. All right, so that's going to include your clients, your servers, everything. Now, if you want to customize that, for example, if I go into under here, I've got computers and I've got servers. In turn, if you want a different message for your desktops and your laptops, etc., to your servers, you create them on the OU level. So you right click, create a GPO in this domain and link it here. So you will create the GPO in this level. So for example, we just create it there. That is now the GPO under computers. Same deal here. Oops, because the name already exists. That is the GPO under servers. So this GPO will only be active for the servers OU and nothing else. This GPO will not execute under computers, right? Pretty clear. For this demonstration, we're going to do it on the root level domain. And as I said, we've already got a logon message GPO. So we go ahead and select it, all right? So the same process, right click, new GPO, okay. It'll then create the name, and you right click on the GPO and we go and say edit. That is now going to open up the group policy management editor itself. All right. Now in here, this is where we go and customize a whole bunch of stuff to be executed across your environment. All right. Now we'll go back to that in a second. Because this group policy already exists, we can go into the settings, and it will give you a rough overview of what it looks like. So this is the message that we saw there before on that logon, and this is the heading, which is notice to all unauthorized users was the heading on the top. Now essentially we want to navigate to this path here. So if we're in the group policy, under computer configuration, we go into policies, we go into Windows settings, we go into security settings, we go into local policies, we go into security options. Now, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do, a lot. But there are two that are defined, these two. The rest are not defined. Interactive logon. All right, got for these two. Message text and message title. So if I double click the title, define this policy setting, and that's what I wanted to say. Notify to all unauthorized users. My logon text, I wanted to say this. And that's it. You add that to both of your group policy, to this particular group policy under the editor. We exit out of here. You want to make sure that under your logon message, under details, that the GPO status is enabled. This is going to be enabled for both the computer and the user. Now in this case, it's only effective on the computer level, but enabled will do it on both. So leave it as enabled, and that is it. So now that scope is all set up in place. It's going to be executed on the domain level itself. And generally, it may take a little bit of time for that to get replicated over your environment. If you have multiple domain controllers, it'll take some time to replicate that over to your other DCs. So you will see that message come up eventually. May not happen straight away. You can force this to happen a bit quicker by running a command on a computer if you want to, which is the command gp update /force. So you're essentially saying this group policy update, I wanted to force it to be executed across. You may need to execute it. Sometimes it may not work if you don't run the command prompt as an administrator. So you may want to do that as well. You want to right click and run as an admin and then execute that command. And that should force that computer, that server, that desktop to re-communicate with the group policy, with domain controller, with AD, and retrieve any new group policy changes that may have been made. Okay, and that is the simple steps on how to create a logon warning message for all of your computers and servers on your environment. So check out my other videos at Digital by Computing and like this video if you found it helpful. Thanks for watching.